Hey, house guests, welcome to today's Big Brother 22 updates and spoilers. Woo! Our house guest of the day is Bonnie Perkins, and it's her special day. It's her birthday. So happy birthday, Bonnie. Hope you're having a wonderful day celebrating. And thank you so much for the support because we could not do this without you, and we appreciate it so much. And I also wanted to take a moment. Oh, yeah. Also, if you want to be house guest of the day, check out our Patreon link in the info box below. But I also wanted to mention our super chatters from yesterday. Yay! So thank you again to Marco Patino, Laura G, Migdalia G, Anita Starr, Jason Brooks, and Greg Landry. Thank you all so much. We really do appreciate it. I know today's spoiler is a little bit early. If you guys are new here, Sundays are usually earlier. We do a little matinee show, or at least try to for the most part, because that's when I get to hang out with my grandma Sunday afternoons. So I want to thank you all for being here nice and early today. Yay. And before we get started too, I just want to remind everybody that there's an episode tonight. So we will be doing our recap tonight if you guys want to check that out also on this channel. A lot of fun. All right, so let's get started. Yay. When we left off yesterday, the house guests were waiting for the power veto competition to pop off. So the players have already been picked. We've got Memphis, Nicole, and David. And then the three extras were Ian, Nicole F, and Tyler. And the host was Enzo. So POV competition is a ways away because it didn't start until late last night, you guys. But before all that, this house is getting ready to blow because Memphis's alliance are now aware that Janelle and Kaser are figuring out that they're all working together. So that has gotten back to them through Memphis, of course. And they're pissed at Memphis because they want him to consider targeting either Janelle or Kaser this week after the power veto, and he doesn't seem to want to do it because he knows that Janelle and Kaser are not targeting him. So, why is he going to go after them? It wouldn't be the best thing for his game, but his alliance is like, what? You don't even care about us? What is this? What is this? You're putting the dick in dictator. Sorry, I had to. So he also kept them in the dark about who he was going to nominate, and they didn't appreciate that either. They're like, I know you're the HOH this week, but why is there no communication here? Why are we not talking through things with you? It doesn't make sense. So anyway, the feeds were down for a little while yesterday for what we thought was the POV competition, but it wasn't. That was Ian beginning his punishment for being Christmas's +1 from the safety suite this week. So it's not the same punishment that Janelle had. She wore the star costume, or was supposed to wear the star costume last week. This punishment is not as simple as that, and it is way more entertaining. So we didn't get to see when he first started the punishment. They blocked that part, but we did see more later, so we'll talk about that in a bit. So when the feeds came back from that, Janelle and Danny were having a game chat in the photo bedroom. So Janelle's like, I'm good with you and you're good with me. Nope. Honestly, I've heard Janelle say to Kaser multiple times that she really does not want to target Danny. She really likes her outside of the house. I guess they're friends, and she just doesn't have it in her to go against Danny like that. But we've seen Danny already try and get Janelle and Kaser up on the block, so she's not holding back. But Janelle says, some of your friends make me a little nervous. So Danny's like, well, I never talk game to Kaser, and that's really weird to me. Maybe you should talk to him. I don't know. So they agree, if either of them get HOH next week, they're good. I really don't know what Danny would do if she were to win HOH. Would she go ahead and put up Janelle and Kaser? Because I'm sure she's totally fine with somebody else taking out Janelle and Kaser, but would she do it herself? I don't know, because that'd be pretty harsh. I don't know. I see Danny more just throwing HOH competitions and letting other people do the dirty work. That's just what I'm thinking. So anyway, Danny says that she thinks it's really good for them to talk to different people and like be on opposite sides because then they can look out for each other. You know, whenever one of their names comes up, they can be like, no, leave that lady alone. She didn't say it like that. That's just what popped into my head. So they both say that they're down to do whatever they need to get further in this game. They're cool with acting like they hate each other. Yes, acting. I just don't see the friendship here in the game. Like I'm sure they're fine on the outside, but like that's not translating into this game. They just do not seem to like each other. I don't know. So anyway, Janelle says that Tyler and Nicole F make her really nervous. So Danny's like, oh, I can talk to them and make sure we're good. That you're good with them. And Danny says, Nicole F freaking likes you a lot. She's just intimidated by you. She never once on my life said anything negative about you. Rest in peace, Danny. You're going to swear on your life about that? I mean, if you're going to swear on your life about something, don't make it that. Because that's a little crazy. We've heard the things that Nicole F has said about Janelle. I mean, really. It was just hilarious. But anyway, Janelle's got to know that that's BS. So Janelle says that she feels really uneasy around extremely emotional people like Nicole. Yeah. All right. So after this conversation was over, Danny talked to Nicole F, and she was like, we need to be careful not to be seen together as much. What a duo, these two, with both of their voices combined. Oh my God. But anyway, she tells Nicole all about the conversation she just had with Janelle, and Nicole's like, okay, well, just keep telling her. I'm not coming after her. So Danny says, yeah, the goal here is to make sure that if Janelle or Kaser win HOH next week, that me, you, and Cody are all going to stay off the block and be safe. So they're just like doing what they got to do. Thank you guys all so much for the super chats. I'm going to thank you all by name at the end. Danny just wants to make sure they're all going to be safe. And Nicole says, don't forget, like the two of us are still eligible to play in the safety suite next week too. It's the last week for that next time. So they're like, it's another chance for us to be safe, just in case somebody we're not cool with, like Janelle and Kaser, wins HOH. Okay, so then Cody and Enzo were in the storage room, and Cody's kind of like starting to freak out. So Cody says that Janelle and Kaser are trying to get in Memphis's ear now about Nicole F, because obviously he's heard that from Memphis. So he says the problem is they think that I'm Nicole F's closest ally. Because you are! So he says if Janelle or Kaser win HOH next week, I'm going to be going up on the block next to her possibly. And Enzo's like, oh, it's fine. We'll just make up a lie and it'll be all right. We'll just say like this person is closer to Nicole F, not you. I'm sure that'll work. Enzo's hilarious. So Cody is really pissed that people that he and Enzo are working with, like Day, Bailey, Danny, they spend a lot of time, not as much Danny, but at least Day and Bailey spend time hanging out alone with Janelle and Kaser, and then they don't report back any information about the conversations. So he feels really weird about that. He doesn't like that. And how many alliances do you have, Cody? And are you sharing all of the information with all of them? Because I don't think so. So Cody's like, don't play loyalty only when it works. It's funny, too, because when they were forming all of their alliances, Cody and Enzo, or at least Enzo, was always the one saying, like, yeah, you can have your stuff on the side. You can have your side business. But, you know, we're always this group first. So do you guys not also have your side business, right? So anyway, it's just funny how hypocritical this game can be. And it's not just Cody, it's everybody. Everybody's a hypocrite up in there. So Enzo says, it's fine. We're just going to use them like they use us. So nothing has changed here. He says someone else will get rid of like Day and Bailey and Danny eventually for us so that we don't have to do that. And Cody's like, who's going to do that? And he's like, I don't know. It's fine. We'll figure it out. Okay, so then Janelle and Kaser have a game chat in the HOH, no, have not room. And Kaser says, moving forward, like the best thing for our games would be if everybody else also starts being perceived as pairs. Like if everyone was in a pair, we might not stick out as much. Like obviously there's still one of the most lethal pairs in there, but he says the more pairs there are, the less attention that there's going to be on us. Oh, TV Talks with Tom, what's up? So then they start talking about Kevin and how they think he's an idiot. Because Kevin has been running around the house now. Running around the house. I just got some Kemi flashbacks. I love Kemi. But yeah, they're saying that Kevin is running around the house, working with Memphis. Or sorry, I'm such a mess. They're saying that Kevin is running around the house, telling everyone that Janelle and Kaser are working with Memphis. And I mean, they are trying to, and they think they are, but yeah, they don't want Kevin telling everyone that. So they're also really tired of his whining. They're like, I just can't listen to a 40-year-old man whine and like run around with his blanket on him and stuff. One of my favorite parts about Big Brother is when someone just like always has a blanket and like sunglasses on them. It's hilarious. But anyway, Kaser says, we are the biggest morons if you, Nicole, is evicted this week. We need Kevin or Nicole F to go. Nicole is a number for us. So that's really going to suck. But Janelle's like, okay, well, we have a 50% chance of the veto being used this week. Because if you look at the lineup of who's playing, they're like, Tyler, Nicole F, and Ian, probably going to just leave the nominations the same, not going to use that veto. And Nicole is going to be stuck up on the block. So I'm thinking like Tyler and Nicole F like might use a veto if they can convince Memphis to put up Janelle or Kaser. Ian probably wouldn't want to make waves. He wouldn't be involved in that whole thing, I think. So then Kaser's saying, well, even if the nominations stay the same, we would probably be able to get the votes to keep you, Nicole. You need 6 plus Memphis to break the tie. And Janelle disagrees. That's going to be a hard disagree from Janelle and me. So Kaser is like counting up the votes. He's like, okay, the two of us, Day, Bay, Christmas. So he only gets through 5 and like, okay, you need 6. I don't know if he was thinking maybe like Kevin would be 6 or if he just didn't actually like have a 6th person in mind. But also like Day, Bay, and Christmas, it's not going to happen. Like they're not going to vote for you, Nicole, against David. First of all, Day and Bay are way closer to David than they are to you, Nicole. I know Day had her like 3-person thing really early on with Nicole and Kevin, but they are not high on her priority list. She definitely wants to keep David around. And Christmas is with Memphis and his crew. Like she's not going to keep Nicole. So, ooh, okay. So then Kaser's saying, well, we should probably go and let Memphis know that Kevin is spreading around that the 3 of us are working together. Memphis is not going to like that. And maybe he'll put Kevin up on the block if the veto is used. So Janelle's like, okay, it's a total bummer that Memphis is probably not going to want to make a big move this week and like go after Nicole F. But if we can get Kevin out, that's better than you, Nicole, leaving and us losing a number. Plus, he's spreading rumors about us, so he's not doing anything for our games. So then Janelle and Kaser start talking about Danny, and Janelle says, yeah, I just talked to her before, and I told her that I'd stop talking shit about her. So Janelle says that Danny approached her about being in an alliance with her, Nicole F., Tyler, and Cody. What? So this was not in the conversation that I was just telling you guys about a few minutes ago. This was actually the night before. But I need some clarity on this because this is confusing even to me. I don't recall, like unless this was not on feeds, I don't recall Danny just straight up being like, let's be in an alliance, like you and Kaser and then us four. So I don't know if like something got misconstrued there or if it like didn't happen at all, but I don't see how Janelle would be lying about that to Kaser. To other people, yeah, but to Kaser, I don't think so. So I'm not exactly sure what she's talking about here. Oh, Bria is saying that she did. Really? Okay, I'm gonna need to do some more research on that and like make sure 100%. So anyway, Janelle is saying like, yeah, I would have worked with Danny, but she's on the other side of the house and she's attached at the hip to Nicole F. and she's working with Tyler and Cody, who I don't trust. And Kaser's like, no thanks. I love to dab because it's like not a thing anymore. But anyway, they agree that they really like Danny in real life. They like her as a person. But in the game, it's just not clicking. Like, they don't talk to her. She doesn't talk to them. Guys, don't feel bad because she's been trying to get you out this whole time. So I wouldn't worry about it. But Janelle suspects that Danny talked to her today because she caught wind of Janelle mentioning her name. Because, yeah, Janelle told Memphis, oh, I've walked in on conversations between Danny, Tyler, Cody, and Nicole F. Like, I think they're all working together. So Memphis went and told his alliance about this. And now Danny's like, I need to clean this up. I need to make sure I'm good here. So, yeah, she's right. Memphis told his alliance everything you told him. The call is coming from inside the house. So, then they talked about how they're really frustrated that Memphis is just so set in his ways, and he nominated someone who would be willing to work with them, who would be a number for them. They're talking about you, Nicole. But again, Memphis is not with you. He already has a crew that can't stand him. He doesn't need another one. So Janelle and Kaser go to the HOH room to talk to Memphis. And they're like, okay, so we were just running scenarios and we wanted to talk to you about some of them. And Memphis is like, I'm going to stop you right there. You already know what I'm going to say. You guys run your brains too much. He has a tendency to like cut people off all the time, and it's super annoying, and it's really getting on people's nerves. So he's like, let's just wait and see who wins the power veto, and then we'll talk. Okay, because you're so busy doing what that you can't just like listen to what they have to say. What are you gonna go do emails now? Like, I don't understand what you're doing that you can't take a second to hear somebody out, but sure. So Memphis is like, my brain doesn't work that way. It can only handle so much. And he says over and over again, like, I'm playing this POV to win. I'm focusing on the win, blah, blah, blah. All right, so let's just talk about like the meat of this conversation because it went on for a little while. But Janelle and Kaser were saying, we need to save you, Nicole, this week because she could be a number for us and we need to start building something. So they're like, we need to win this power veto and use it on her because we're not going to have the votes to save her if the nominations stay the same. So Memphis is like, are you sure the votes wouldn't be there? And he knows like they're not, but he's like, I think Ian could be swayable. He's not just going to like do whatever Nicole F tells him to do. And he says it's too early for things to be so black and white with like votes and like who's going to do what. It's too early. He's a real Helen. Love you, Helen. I actually really like Helen now. So Janelle brings up that Danny asked her and Kaser to join her alliance with Tyler, Cody, and Nicole F. And I believe Janelle actually mentioned this to Memphis earlier, but she didn't have time to like really talk with him about it. So this is not the first time that he's hearing this. But Memphis was really like dismissive about it and saying like, it's only week 2. They only have 4 people. Like, who gives a shit? Like, it's probably not even going to last. Also, he's working with those 4 people. So then they were, talking about making an alliance with Memphis, building up numbers. And of course, like, he's sticking to his script. He doesn't want to make any big alliances. He doesn't feel like he would want to like win a veto for somebody and like use it on them because that would put his game in jeopardy. And he's like really focused on that. And he's like, no, I'm not doing that. So he wants to wait until the second half of the game to make alliances. So then Kaser's asking Memphis, okay, well, what would you do if you won the power veto? And Memphis says, my goal is to keep the nomination's the same because, again, it is week 2. And he says, I'm not going to backdoor anyone. I am looking out for my own best interest. I'm not going to throw a grenade in the middle of the house. Okay, so after this conversation, Janelle and Kaser chat alone, and they decide, you know what? No, we're not going to sit around and wait for Memphis to be ready to make an alliance. We're just going to freaking do this without him. We are going to set something up. If he wants to join later when he's ready, that's fine. We'll take another number, but we are doing this no matter what. So they want to get something going with Bailey, Davon, and Unicole. Kaser is going to work on Christmas and see if they can get her. Not Christmas. Christmas is aligned with Memphis and his crew, but they could actually get something going with Bailey and Davon if they're receptive to it. Unicole, I don't know if she's going to be here next week. Ugh. So anyway, Cody and Nicole F have a quick check-in in the bathroom area. And it's funny because Cody has been saying to people like Danny, oh, Nicole F is like spiraling. Like she's going to freak out because Janelle is targeting her now. But Cody is also low-key freaking out. Like he's getting all amped up. So he says to Nicole, I told Day and Bailey both something and it got back to Janelle. So I don't trust them now. So it's interesting too, because at this point, I don't think Cody has told Nicole F that he is working with Day and Bailey, like in a solid alliance, like a concrete alliance. It's got a name and everything, but she knows that Cody's like good with them. So he's like, you know what? I'm going to target Day and Bailey after Janelle and Kaser if they want to be like that. And it just sounded very like something that you would say to a sibling, like, well, if you're gonna be like that, then screw you. So then they're laughing about how Janelle and Kaser are trying to pull in Christmas, and they know that she's in their group already. And they're saying that Janelle and Kaser's games are really lame and obvious and like have the subtlety of like an elephant something, or I don't who gives a shit. So yeah, then there was a lot of hanging out and waiting around for the power veto competition to start. I guess like there was a heat advisory last night or like all day yesterday, and it was too hot for them to play, so they were waiting until it cooled off a bit. I'm assuming that's what it was. I don't know. I think they were also having rolling blackouts in California yesterday, so I don't know if that had something to do with it. But anyway, we got to see what Ian's punishment is all about. And it's amazing. So there's this like big rack of costumes and props hanging up in the storage room for him. And whenever Big Brother alerts him over the intercom, he has to put on like a different space costume and act out scenes from all Star Wars. I don't mean like all the Star Wars movies. I mean like they put together some like sci-fi Big Brother related scripts. They were funny-ish. I mean, they were cute. They were cutesy for Big Brother. You know how they do. So this was hilarious. Ian was playing multiple parts within the same scene, and there were a few different scenes for Big Brother to choose from. I think he's got like 4 different scenes that he will be performing throughout the week. So there's like a romantic one. There's like a death scene. I didn't see the other 2 yet, but it's a good time. So the first few times, at least, like everyone was watching and like really engaged and enjoying it. And you could tell Ian was having a blast with it. And it was so nice to see him like looking relaxed and like he was enjoying himself, because last week was really rough for him. And I'm glad that he's like settling in more now. I think this is going to be a big breakthrough for him. Just like feeling more comfortable and at ease. So that's good. So like I mentioned, for a while he had to play like all of the parts in the scene, but then later he got to pick someone to be in the death scene with him, and it was hilarious. People ended up taking turns after a while, but the first one to volunteer was Day. She's an actress, right? So that's fun. And she had to wear this hilarious like alien bubblehead mask thing, and it had like this weird green boa mohawk. It was very funny. So everybody was having a good time with that. I think it's going to get tired after a while, but for now, it's a good time. So back to the game. Kaser and Danny did end up chatting in the lounge, and I mean, they were mostly just talking about Memphis and how much he sucks. Like, they don't know what his deal is. They don't know why he's being so aggressive towards David. It's really uncalled for and not cool. Kaser is also like, I just think it's weird that everybody thinks that I'm working with Memphis, and like, I had no say in the nominations. And it's true, like, he had no say in the nominations, but also he thinks that he's working with Kaser, and like, he's trying to. So Kaser says no one is talking game with him. And of course, Danny's like, I know, like, so weird. No one's talking game in this house. Okay, so then the feeds finally go down for the Power Veto competition at like, I think it was like 12:20 something, Big Brother time. And they did not come back until after 3 a.m. Oh my God. So it was a late one. And just to remind you guys, the players were Memphis, Unicole, David, Tyler, Ian, and Nicole F. And it sounds like this competition was physical. It definitely was geared more towards the guys. It sounds like it required a lot of like arm strength, which for most women is not a strong suit. So, oh boy, the big winner of this competition was Memphis. So a lot of people were not happy about this. I'm sure Memphis was overjoyed, but the nominees, Unicole and David, not happy, very upset. Memphis's alliance, not happy, very upset. Nicole F in particular is freaking out that Janelle is going to convince Memphis to use the veto and put her up on the block, and they're going to vote her out because she's already won. So she's like, I invited Janelle to my wedding because I thought she liked me, and since we've been in here, I don't like her at all. So, wow, there's a lot to unpack there. But anyway, she's freaking out, and everybody like Enzo, Danny, Cody, Christmas, etc., they're all reassuring her, you're fine. Like, even if he does, for some reason, put you on the block, which is not going to happen, you know, even if he does do that, you're going to have the votes and you're going to be fine. Like, our alliance is going to back you up. So she's still freaking out. You know, it's going to be exhausting until Monday. Oh my God. All right. So and then last night, also, Day and Bailey had a really interesting conversation. They are starting to realize that some of the stuff that Janelle and Kaser have been saying is really starting to add up and make sense. Kaser has told Day that Danny, Nicole F, Tyler, and Cody, they're all working together. And now they're noticing that Danny seems to be telling Cody and Nicole F things that they've said. Yeah, they're working together. So they also don't want to forget that Danny and Nicole F are like really close friends in real life. So they're getting a little bit nervous about that group. You know, maybe Cody and Danny are not being 100% honest with us. So they're thinking they might need to change things up a little bit. So then they were also talking about how if nominations stay the same, they're going to be keeping David. Sorry, Unicole, but they're with David. So that's what that is. So today should be interesting. Lots of people, I'm sure, are going to be tired because they were up super late last night for the Power Veto. But I'm sure also people are going to be trying to talk to Memphis. He's the HOH and the POV holder. So why? So anyway, yeah, I'm sure a lot of people are going to want to get in his ear. Janelle and Kaser are going to be trying to get the veto used. I think like Memphis's alliance are also going to be trying to get the veto used because they want Janelle or Kaser up on the block. But I mean, if they figure like there's no way that's going to happen, they'll just like vote Unicole out if the nominations stay the same. So the Power Veto ceremony should be tomorrow. And if I had to guess, if I had to guess, I would say Memphis is going to leave the nominations the same, but you never know. You never know, but I feel like he's going to leave them the same. And it's not looking good for Unicole if that is the case. Hi! Oh, Bowie's smiling. That's not good for her because I don't think she's going to be able to get the votes. Oh, you're going to lick my armpit on camera. You little cutie. All right, so that's where we are right now, you guys. I want to thank you so much for hanging out today. And I also want to thank our super chatters. Yay! So our super chatters, is it Yasser? Bakir, thank you so much. Veronica W, thank you so much. Haley Milne, thank you so much. I know you're on Patreon too, a bunch of you guys. Brant Phillips, thank you. Oh, I don't want to run over Puppyfoot. And Jen T, thank you so much. You guys are all so amazing. I gotta go see my grandma. So I'll see you guys tomorrow.
Thanks,
actually, no.
everybody.
Yeah, I'll see you guys tonight for the recap and then be back tomorrow. So bye guys. Thanks so much. Until next time. Much love.
No, you don't.
Oh, that's not a touch screen. I did that before too. Okay, bye guys for real. Bye.